All right, ladies and gentlemen, no name brand, 1/4 inch drive. These ratchets like this, everybody made them back in the day. They're pretty common. I got this out of a estate sale, part of the little kit. I went ahead and put a good Craftsman in it, and I'm gonna take this apart. It needs to be cleaned. It's dry. I can hear the gears inside here. They're clanking too much. Sounds new inside, actually. All I'm gonna do is take it apart, clean it, grease it good, and probably wind up taking this one to work. I don't have very many 1/4 inch stuff at work, and this is something I can give to somebody to use if need to borrow. First I gotta get well, usually I can do this pretty quick, but today I'm having problems. Come on, spring, lift up. Well, usually, ladies and gentlemen, this is easy. I don't know why I'm making it hard, but I am. All right, hang on a second. Let me find, there it is. Excuse me. Come on, open up. Oh, I thought I had it there for a second. Well, why can't I get this? I'll leave this in the video. You guys will get a kick out of me struggling here. There. Usually it comes right off. Shouldn't be that hard. Yeah, there's dirt down in there. I can see the dirt. It should just push right on out. Yeah, it's dirty. Look at the dry grease. See all the dirt, grease. Well, it's probably, yeah, probably both. Teeth look pretty decent from what I can tell. Now, hopefully, pin will press down. Turn it past this shoulder. Come on, push the bearing down. I'll show you there's a little bearing down in there. And what I'm gonna do is press it down, turn it past this, and then I should be able to pull it out. Like that. Now, a pair of pliers. The spring don't come shooting out at me. What I did is I pushed the bearing past here, so it's the spring and the ball bearings is compressed, so this should come right out. Hopefully, the spring doesn't shoot out at me. Just like that. There's the spring. There's a pin. The spring goes inside the pin. And that acts as a ball bearing right here. Now, there's a pin right here. Normally, what I do is I pull the pin out with a magnet like so. Pawl comes out. That's it. Really simple. Really simple. Yeah, you can see the baked on grease there. And you can see on the inside, it's what I was talking about, pushing the bearing. So if you look down inside there, the bearing, see where the screwdriver is? The bearing, I pushed it past the shoulder, like right about there. That way the spring is not protruding out in the opening, and then you can just pull that cap off. Now, if you've never done this before, get you a, hang on. Shoot, don't know where it's at. I was gonna show you, when I first started doing this, I would do it in a large Ziploc bag. That way, if this spring would come shooting out of this hole, it'd be inside the bag. Somebody said do it in a box or a big bowl. I've actually tried it in a big, I don't know, and it was a couple gallon bowl. The spring shot up, straight up and off to the right, and it disappeared. So Ziploc bag, a large gallon Ziploc bag, you can still see what you're doing and you can pull it apart. If you've never done one before and you're not comfortable, use a large Ziploc bag. It's a lot easier. You don't lose parts that way. And do it in a well-lit area. My shop has got, it's so bright in here, I overlit the shop because I don't like shadows, especially if you're painting. If you ever work in a body shop, you'll understand what I mean. It's better to overlight than underlight because you can always turn lights off. You can't, once you install your lights, it's hard to add more. Anyways, enough of that. Let's use a little carburetor cleaner. Oh, before I do that, put the magnet on. I'll put the spring and pin on a magnet so I don't lose it. I have. It sucks, but yeah, I know I'm using carburetor cleaner with my bare hands. I know there's a guy that left me a comment on that. Sorry, it's a bad habit. I gotta have some kind of bad habit. I don't like the feel of gloves. Depends on what I'm doing. If I run my chainsaw, I'm always wearing gloves. Used to have a pair of leathers when I ran my chainsaw. They got burned up in a fire, so that sucks. Those things are expensive. That's it for that can. You can use anything to clean. If you want to use just some lemon cleaner, some all-purpose cleaner, I use carburetor cleaner because that's what I've always used. It's what we used when we was a kid. Carburetor cleaner was that's what we use, ladies and gentlemen. We use it for everything. I use it at work. I use it to take locks apart. I use it to clean the locks off. It cuts the grease out. If you ever have to repin or rekey a lock, you'll understand what I mean. That grease gets packed in them pins and them locks, and it doesn't want to come apart. I use carburetor cleaner to clean graffiti off. I have a can of it on my cart. I have cans of it, spare cans at work. And I get real upset when people at work use my cans and don't replace them. Guys know they use cans carburetor cleaner off my cart. They better put it back. It's good shape. I don't think this thing has much wear by the looks of it. Look at the teeth on the paw here in a minute. So much caked on grime. I mean, these little 1/4-inch ratchets aren't designed for a lot of torque. I don't care what brand it is. It's not designed to be removing head bolts off a vehicle. So, you know, something like this, they're designed to take covers and stuff off of your lawnmowers, things like that. Yeah, teeth on this are in really good shape. Okay. Yeah, good shape. Now I need to see the teeth on the inside. Let's clean this pin real quick. These are really, 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 really easy units to take apart, put together. If you find these, I made a video a while back on this, these little Chinese ratchets like this. They're good for secondary ratchets. If you don't like your brother-in-law or your neighbor and he comes borrow your tools, if you can't say no, go find some Chinese stuff, clean them up a little bit, hand it to them. Guys at work, I do that to them all the time. I usually do not give them my good tools. I'm very, very particular about my tools. Those of you that don't make a living with your tools, you don't understand, but those of us who use our tools every day and work with them and make a living with them, I have a problem giving a tool to somebody, especially if I can see using a tool and breaking it while you're working. It's possible. But if you put your tool down and you forget where you put it, or you put it in a bucket of water, or that irritates me. You don't abuse my tools. First of all, I paid for them. Secondly, I make a living with them. And if you abuse my tools, I want to abuse you. Anyways, guys know not to touch them. If they borrow them, they know. I'm very, very particular in my tools. And those of you that work with idiots that throw their tools around and leave them lying around everywhere and chunk them, I feel sorry for you. Don't really have to clean this. I can't remember the viewer's name, but he did give me a great idea, and I thought of it before. I've been told about it before. You don't have to use these spring clips. You can use an E-clip. If you find the right size E-clip when you put it back together, you can use an E-clip. Also, if you find some of these ratchets that have play, it slops when you put it back together, and this has a lot of slop and play in it, you will find some that are like that. Take an old plastic milk jug and cut a ring. You may take you once or twice to get it the right size. Take a box knife, pair of scissors, and cut you a spacer. And the nylon, I call it nylon, the plastic of the milk jug makes a great spacer. I've used that several times on different things. I've actually used gallon milk jugs on a lawnmower one time, using it because I didn't have a bushing. I made my own couple of bushings out of the milk jug. So tip there if you guys ever need something like that. All right, look at that. Look at the inside. No damage, really clean, no wear, probably was not used. Most people don't use 1/4-inch ratchets. It's not a high-end. I know a guy that's a RC racer. He races those remote control vehicles. He does do a lot of 1/4-inch stuff, which I understand why, because a lot of things he works on are little bitty, they're small cars and stuff. You know what? I think my camera, I got too much. Oh well. This video might suck. All right. Let's put this silly thing together. I'm just making sure, cleaning the dust and stuff off the spring. I got a lot of trash on the end of the magnet. I got to clean that magnet. So, what I do here, ladies and gentlemen, you can use whatever you want. If you like oil, use oil. If you find a wheel bearing grease you got, use it. Oops. You do not have, I use Mobil 1 grease. It's what I've used for years and years, decades. It's what we use at work. It's what I use here. It's proven itself, so I can't complain. Any metal contact, I just put a light film. You don't have to pack it. I have seen people, I've watched videos where guys pack the grease in there. You can do that if you want. It's not a problem. It won't hurt anything. Personally, I don't care, because This thing is, I don't like the grease oozing out of every crevice and then getting all over my hands. I keep my hands as clean as possible when I'm working on things. All right, see how that spring just went in there like that? The spring's got some tension to it. Now what I'm gonna do, like that, that's how I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna push the spring pin in, top of that spring, and then when I turn it, it'll pop in there in that spot. Okay? First, before you do that, put the pawl in. The teeth face out because it contacts the ring gear in here. Drop this little pin in there. Right like that. Excuse me. Now, since metal contact, I'm just going to lightly grease the top of this. I've already greased down in there, no big deal. Now, drop this pin, and what I do, like I said, if you've never done this before, use a Ziploc bag. All I'm going to do is press this pin down. See? And then push it all the way down. Now, when I turn it, it should pop out here. There, it clicked, I heard it. Now, turn it left to right. There it goes. Now, I'm going to put grease on the gear. I call this a ring gear. That's what we call it at work. Usually if it's circled like this in a big circle, it's a ring gear. So I'm calling it a ring gear. You can call it whatever you want, ladies and gentlemen. Real simple. Now to drop this in, sometimes you have to push this slightly. See the gears sticking out just a little bit. You just push in, or you can turn this and it drops down. And I'm gonna wipe the excess grease off because I'm not a big fan of it. Put the spring clip on. Like I said, the guy gave me a good I mean, I thought of it before, and somebody's told me before, use an E-clip if you lose this spring clip. I don't want to drive to town and get a clip, so I reuse these. And I save these spring clips on some old ratchets. Switches left, right, left, right, left, right. Now listen to it. A lot quieter. Do I have a 1/4 inch? I don't have a little 1/4 inch socket up here. I'd put it on there and spin it. But yeah. Real easy to work on these. These are simple little ratchets. Like I said, there's no name, so more than likely it's Chinese made. But it's a good tool. It's usable. I've got, I don't know, less than $1 in it. $1. I think yeah, this came from that estate sale. Paid $36 for a bunch of junk, and I've got my money's worth out of it. This is just a freebie tool the way I look at it. So I'm gonna take this to work, stick it in my spare toolbox, and if somebody needs it, I got it. You know, they're not designed for a lot of torque. I know some of you use things like this and beat it with a hammer and then break it, and then you get mad because it's broken. Well, you used the wrong tool for the job. Even if it's we got in an argument not long ago. Somebody was using the wrong tool for the job. They got mad, they hurt themselves, blah, blah, blah. And by the time, if they would have went back and got the right tool, put it on the equipment and used it properly, they'd have saved so much time. But they caused so much headache, so much paperwork, they got hurt, because they were doing it wrong. All wrong. So, because they didn't want to walk, 50 yards to get the right tool to come back and do the job, and they just saved half a day, a lot of trouble. So, anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Little easy ratchet to work on. Cheap, inexpensive, but for a secondary toolbox, to throw in an extra toolbox, to give it to somebody you don't like. If they don't return your tools, you're not out a lot. This stuff here, like this, these little Chinese stuff, it has its use, it has its purpose. Personally, I don't use them, but as a backup or secondary or third unit or to loan to someone, it's worth it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe. I hope this helps. I hope I give somebody an idea. A lot of you guys already seen this. I'm sorry if you have, but there's a lot of new viewers, and something like this may help one of them. And like I said, guys, hunt for this old tools, old junk. And sometimes you buy things you don't know what you're getting. Sometimes you get some surprises. I didn't know this was in that batch of tools that I bought. It was a nice little surprise. It's not the best tool in the world, but it's still a good usable tool. And it's worth picking up and using it. Just even if my wife just wanted it in her toolbox, it's worth it to keep in the house. All right, guys, that's enough. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good day now. Thank you.